Okay, today I'm going to give you a rundown of pretty much all of the grammar topics that you need to know for Chapter 6 in my German classes. So, we're going to start with the modal auxiliaries. There are 8 of them that you're going to be tested over. Technically, there's actually only 6 of them, but one of them is a form of another one, and werden doesn't really count. But the list is mögen, which means to like, such as gern haben, pretty much the same thing. Ich mag, du magst, sie es mag, wir mögen, ihr mögt, sie mögen, sie mögen. Müssen, which means must, or to have to. Ich muss, du musst, sie es muss, wir müssen, ihr müsst, sie müssen, sie müssen. Möchten, which is a subjunctive form of mögen, which is why it really doesn't count as a modal auxiliary. Möchten is conjugated ich möchte, du möchtest, sie es möchte, wir möchten, ihr möchtet, sie möchten, sie möchten. Dürfen, may, or to be allowed to. Ich darf, du darfst, sie es darf, wir dürfen, ihr dürft, sie dürfen, sie dürfen. Können, can, or to be able to. Ich kann, du kannst, sie es kann, wir können, ihr könnt, sie können, sie können. Sollen, should, or to be supposed to. Ich soll, du sollst, sie es soll, wir sollen, ihr sollt, sie sollen, sie sollen. Wollen, which is want. Ich will, du willst, sie es will, wir wollen, ihr wollt, sie wollen, sie wollen. And werden, which is technically not a modal auxiliary, but it acts like one, and is also irregularly conjugated. Ich werde, du wirst, sie es wird, wir werden, ihr werdet, sie werden, sie werden. With these 8 auxiliaries, people need to know a few rules. First of all, the modal auxiliary goes in the verb spot, so wherever you would normally have your verb, that's where it needs to go. That means in statements, it needs to be in the second position, so if you have your subject first, then your verb comes after that, and then the rest of your sentence. Or if you have a question, you can have your verb first, and then the rest of your sentence. You can also have that weird inverted word order that we've talked about before, which is that you have something that starts the sentence that's not the subject, followed by the verb, and then the subject. Then comes your rest of your sentence. Once you've conjugated your modal auxiliary and put it into the verb spot, you have to take the other verb that normally would go in that spot, put it into the infinitive form, that means the one that you'll find in the dictionary, also known as the en form, and take that and put it at the end of the sentence. Some verbs can be implied, and therefore there is no verb for the end of the sentence. Examples of those would be essen, trinken, fahren, gehen, and kommen. You pretty much always use them with certain foods and drinks and going to places and that kind of thing, so you can imply those. Here are some examples using the modal auxiliaries. Ich mag Züge. I like trains. Ich muss nach Hause gehen. I have to go home. And again, in that sentence, you can actually say, Ich muss nach Hause. I have to go home, without actually saying gehen. It's actually implied. Wir möchten eine Pizza. We would like a pizza. Again, you don't have to put essen at the end of the sentence because we assume that you're going to eat it. Ich darf nicht so viel essen. I'm not allowed to eat so much. Können. Ich kann fliegen. I can fly. Sollen. Wir sollen nach Hause gehen. We should go home. Ich will meine Mutti. I want my mother. Wir werden ins Kino gehen. We will go to the movies. The second thing that we have on our list of grammar topics to talk about today, we have negation. Negation works in 2 different fashions. We have kein and nicht. Kein is used to negate nouns. You need to have an ein word ending added to it, which means that you should have the same endings that you have with the ein words, except now it has a k in front of it instead of just being an ein word. So, in the nominative case, you have masculine is kein, feminine, keine, neuter, kein, and of course the plural, keine. In the accusative case, we now have keinen for the masculine, keine for the feminine, kein for the neuter, and keine for the plural. Examples of this, in the nominative case, we could say, kein Mann ist gut, no man is good. Keine Frau ist hässlich, no woman is ugly. Kein Fenster ist sauber, no window is clean. Keine Schuhe fliegen, no shoes fly in the plural. Accusative case, you can say things like, Sie hat keinen Mann. She has no husband. Hat keine Frau. He has no wife. Mein Zimmer hat kein Fenster. My room has no window. Ich sammle keine Briefmarken. I collect no stamps. Nicht is used to negate pretty much everything else in the sentence that you could possibly negate. Usually goes at the end of the sentence unless you want to negate something specific inside of that sentence. It can be used to negate time elements, prepositional phrases, or possessive adjectives. For example, ich gehe nicht heute Abend ins Kino. Ich gehe heute Nachmittag ins Kino. I'm not going to the movie theater this evening. I'm going to the movie theater this afternoon. Ich gehe nicht ins Kino. Ich gehe ins Rockkonzert. I'm not going to the movie theater. I'm going to the rock concert. Sie ist nicht meine Schwester. Sie ist deine Schwester. She is not my sister. She is your sister. The third grammar topic that we need to talk about today is the difference between kennen and wissen. Kennen is used to know and is conjugated completely normally, which means that you conjugate it ich kenne, du kennst, sie es kennt, wir kennen, ihr kennt, sie kennen, sie kennen. It's used with nouns. For example, ich kenne Berlin, I know Berlin. Ich kenne deine Schwester, I know your sister. Ich kenne deinen Bruder, I know your brother. Or wir kennen die Lehrer, we know the teachers. Wissen is conjugated irregularly and is used with facts, answers, and what I like to call nuggets of information. It's conjugated ich weiß, du weißt, sie es weiß, wir wissen, ihr wisst, sie wissen, sie wissen. And again, it's used with facts and answers and nuggets of information. Here are some examples. Ich weiß, wo der Muffinmann wohnt. I know where the Muffin Man lives. Ich weiß, was deine wirkliche Haarfarbe ist. I know what your real hair color is. Ich weiß, wo der rote Farn wächst. I know where the red fern grows. Ich weiß, warum der gefangene Vogel singt. I know why the caged bird sings. All of these examples are separated off by a comma after wissen, but there are a few examples when this wouldn't happen. For instance, if you say, I know that, if you're referring back to a person, a place, or a thing, you would be using a form of kennen. However, if you're talking about a fact, or an answer to a question, or as one of those other nuggets of information, then you're going to be using wissen. For instance, ich weiß die Antwort, I know the answer. If you'd like a little bit more information about any of these grammar topics, please check out the playlist that I've put together on any of these topics. You can just click whichever picture it is that is most appropriate for whichever topic it is that you need. If you would like a review of the entire chapter overall, you can just watch the entire Chapter 6 playlist, which is at the bottom right. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the test.